All right, the Houston Texans, they got the bye week. And you know what? GM's getting to work. Just getting to work. Casario's getting to work and saying, you know what? Let's start building our team for next year as well. And tight end Brevin Jordan has re-signed. There you see it right here from Ian Rappaport. He is reporting that tight end Brevin Jordan has agreed to a 1-year extension this morning. All right, so the question I have for you as we start this video, have you been underwhelmed, overwhelmed, or is it just right? The production that you've gotten out of the tight end room so far this year? And is Brevin Jordan somebody that you want to have on your team for next year? This is very interesting because Brevin Jordan is one of those guys. Last year, it felt like he was ready to have a breakout season this season, right? He showed some serious flashes of speed. He was entering the last year of his rookie contract. He's only 24 years old out of the U. He had really like top 10% speed for a tight end. And you started wondering to yourself if he could be getting better and better and what his possibility could look like. Last year, on just 21 targets, all right, which is crazy to me. He had 18 catches, which is a completion percentage of 85.7 when he was thrown to for almost 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's 16.4 yards per reception. I don't have all the tight end stats in front of me, but for the number of catches he had to the yards per reception, I would have to imagine that was number one amongst all tight ends. So yeah, he is doing some really, really good things, and he was starting to do some really good things. Then he had the ACL injury in week 2 of the season this year, which was honestly just a really, really big bummer, if I can be completely honest. But I would say overall, the tight end room this year has been not so good. And underwhelming, I guess, is going to be the word. I like Dalton Schultz. I thought it was a good extension for him as well to lock him up for 3 years. You have him for 2 more. I don't think he'll actually play both those years. I think it's just 1 more. But in a second here, I'm going to tell you why I love the Brevin Jordan extension, because there's some things that I think we can assume. But before we do that, let's talk about what this means even more. What this means even more to me is Cade Stover the guy? Like, and that's a question I have for you. Does this have anything to do with Cade Stover? In case you're wondering, he has 14 catches this year for 132 yards, an average of 9.4. Now, to be fair, that's about exactly what Brevin Jordan's numbers look like in his first and second year. All right, here's the thing you have to understand. They're the same age. Cade Stover is 24 years old, and so is Brevin Jordan. That is one of those things that I look at and I'm like, both of them were born in the year 2000. They're like within a month of each other. And here we are, Cade Stover in his rookie season while Brevin Jordan is in his 4th year in the NFL. I think Brevin Jordan is going to be a better receiving threat going forward. I just do. I like what he has available. And Dalton Schultz has started to show that he's only 28 years old. I understand that. But he's starting to look like he's getting a little long in the tooth. He's not doing horrible this year. He has 41 catches for 424 yards. But the question is the efficiency in which he's getting there. If you put any stock into PFF, if you look at his grade, his overall grade is 61.8. That's 29th out of 37 qualifying tight ends that have had enough snaps. His receiving grade is 30th out of 37 tight ends. Essentially, what that tells you is he is a bottom of the league, and as far as production goes, he is a bottom of the league starter as far as the talent goes. He's 9th in targets. He's 14th in receptions. He's 15th in receiving yards. He's 24th in receiving touchdowns. All right, this is amongst tight ends. All right, he has no drops. That's huge. He's 24th in yards per reception, 27th in yards after catch, 34th in passer rating when targeted, and 9th in average depth of target. So here's where you have some numbers that are getting concerning. When you're 9th in average depth of target, but you're 24th in yards per reception, that means you're getting absolutely nothing after the catch. That means you're not getting separation on your routes. It's really that simple. These are some of the struggles, and I think bringing Brevin Jordan back is saying, nope, we want to bring back more talent in this tight end room. So why do I think it's a genius move to bring him back? I think it's a genius move to bring him back when he's coming off the injury because, one, you're going to get him cheap. I know that sounds harsh. I know that sounds crass, but like that is the name of the game. It is the NFL. You want to make good business decisions, all right? We've never said anything but this. We're Lions fans. I got my Lions jersey. The game's going to start in about an hour here against the Packers. All right, go Lions. But we've been also covering the Texans from day one on this channel. All right, we covered them all last year. We're covering them all this year. We thought they had something special, and we kind of relate to the Texans, kind of that overlooked team. You're never going to see Cowboys content on this channel. And when I look, and I was so excited about what Brevin Jordan brought to the table last year. He passed the eye test. He had the speed. He had the tools. But what you see with the Lions, where I was going with that point, is Brad Holmes, our GM, loves bringing in guys that are injured at a discount. He's done it with Emmanuel Mosley. He's done it with tight ends. He's drafted tight ends that are probably you can probably get them 2-3 rounds later. James Mitchell is who I'm thinking of because they're coming off an ACL injury. That happens a lot. This has worked sometimes and it hasn't worked sometimes. But I guarantee you Brevin Jordan is signing for far less money than he would if this in under two circumstances. Far less money than he would if he was healthy, and definitely far less money than he would if he waited till the off season. And now you're in a bidding war with all the other teams and you're trying to figure out what that looks like, and they're like, no, we're going to get you locked up right now. He probably wants to be here because he feels like this is a good place for him to showcase his talent, because CJ Stroud was clearly very efficient when throwing to him. And he has not been efficient. He sees the writing on the wall in this tight end room. He sees that he's probably more athletic and more of a gifted receiving tight end than Cade Stover. And he sees that Dalton Schultz's game is declining this year. He knows he has the opportunity to go in and be a really big part of this team's future at tight end. And it could be something that could be really, really special. I would say he's one of those weird flyers that you take at tight end in a fantasy football draft next year. Stuff like that. But I think this comes at a good time for the Texans, and I think like it just makes sense. You're in the bye week. You have 4 games coming up, but hey, let's just take care of this right now. GMs keep working all year, and it's a unique time for a signing, but it makes complete and total sense to me. What do you think? What do you give? Do you give it an A, a B, a C, a D, an F, or an incomplete because you don't know how much he signed for? I'm guaranteeing it's not that much money. I give this an A. It just makes sense to me. All right, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one.